We're going to talk about Ty France. And I don't want to say I haven't been looking forward to this video, but I don't really know how to finish that sentence. So before we talk about Ty France, I want to talk about Simply Seattle because they have the very best in Seattle sports gear. Great stuff for the Mariners, of course, but also the Seahawks, the Kraken, the Sounders, the Storm, the Cougars, the Huskies. Got this beautiful hat at Simply Seattle. You can find it all at simplyseattle.com. Once you find all the stuff you want, use code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. Awesome deal. MOLLYWHOP15. Just enter it at checkout and you will save 15% off your order. Thank you so much to Simply Seattle. And there is a link to the website with that code in the description of this here video. Ty France time, huh? Ty France. I don't know if there's been a Mariner hitter in my lifetime that has frustrated me more, well, certainly over the last year, but maybe ever, that has frustrated me more than Ty France. Maybe Jose Lopez. But it's those two. And before you say, Chris, there have been much worse hitters than Jose Lopez and Ty France, of course there has. Way worse. But frustration for me, I don't get frustrated at bad Major League Baseball players when they're not doing well. I get frustrated maybe at management that puts them into position to play. I maybe get frustrated at ownership for not upgrading over those players. But I don't really get frustrated at bad players who aren't capable of doing more than being bad. Ty France frustrated me so much over this last season plus because I saw the good he provided prior to 2023, especially. And honestly, prior to the second half of 2022, if we're being honest. Anyway, I know what Ty France is capable of. And based on what I saw from the first half in 2022 and most of 2021, I thought Ty France was on his way to becoming one of the very best first basemen in baseball. But nothing I saw from him in 2023, and again, to be honest, the second half of 2022, nothing I saw from him in those time frames suggests that he can do that. Quick look at the numbers. Ty France batted .250, got on at a .337 clip, a .366 slugging percentage. That equals .703 on the old OPS. And that's an OPS plus of 99. 100 is average, so just a little bit below average. One stolen base. A quick side note on the stolen base things. I was looking at Baseball Reference, and they list all of the players, by position on the top thing. And they'll tell you who spent the most time at each position as they're kind of like, that's their main lineup. So if you look at it by that, catcher Cal Raleigh, first base Ty France, second base Colton Wong, third base Eugenio Suarez, shortstop JP Crawford, right? In a year where the stolen bases were flowing and plentiful, those guys combined for 6. Now, they got 26 from Jose Caballero. They got 10 from Sam Haggerty, like 7 from Dylan Moore. So they got some stolen base from they got some stoles. They got some stolen bases from some infield dudes. I don't know why that sentence was so hard, but it was hard for them to steal bases, apparently, outside of those guys. Because 6 is, wow, that is a low total. And to be honest, I'm surprised it's that high. And I'm a little surprised Ty France got one. Very funny when he celebrated it. One of the better moments from 2023. Certainly one of the better moments from Ty France in 2023. But yeah, we'll go over it. We'll talk about it. First, let's talk about what we know Ty France can do. We know that Ty France can make a lot of contact. And look, Seattle Mariners have made it abundantly clear that's something they're really valuing right now. It's contact. Ty France did it a lot, even in a frustrating year. I'm going to say frustrating a lot. He only struck out 17.6% of the time. That's in the 77th percentile of hitters. He only whiffed 21.9% of the time. That's in the 69th. Very nice percentile of hitters. He also hit the ball in the sweet spot a lot. 36.9. Hitting the ball in the sweet spot and barreling the baseball are different. We'll talk about that in a sec. So we know Ty France can make contact. And we know that he is capable of putting the ball on the barrel and dropping it in over those into the left field and right field, not gaps, but the gap between second base and right field and the gap between left field and third base, yada, yada, yada. You know how baseball works. We know he can do that. And what we really know he can do is we know he can get plunked. And he's going to get plunked. Folks, this largest sample size, it's not luck. There may be a little bit of bad luck here and there or good luck here and there, depending on how you look at it. But nope, this is clearly something Ty France can do and is going to do. He has been hit 82 times over the last 3 years and 34 of them last year. Led baseball in 2 of the last 3 years, and I'm pretty sure he would have led baseball in 2022 if not for that little injury. He can get plunked. He is going to crowd the plate. He's going to stick that elbow out sometimes, which is technically cheating, but it works out well for him. And he isn't going to flinch. He's going to take that baseball. And it's risky because you get hurt, obviously. But Ty France clearly, I don't know if values is the right word, but he's willing to get on via hit by pitch. He does it far too often to believe that this is anything but something that he wants to do. Again, may not be the right term, but it's clearly something he's willing to do and do it well. And it's big. That's 34 extra times on base. And he needs it for reasons we'll talk about here in a second. So we know that he can make contact. We know he is capable of those bloopers. And those bloopers can be valuable, getting on base, whatever way. And we know that he's going to get plunked. Here's what we don't know if Ty France can do, and that is make hard contact. Even in his best years, Ty France was not exactly like leading baseball in hard hit percentage or anything like that. But it was really bad in 2023. Hard hit percentage, and hard hits are anything that goes over 90 miles per hour, according to exit velocity. 38.6. 38.6% of the time he hit the ball hard, according to Baseball Savant. 6.8% of the time, not quite nice, and it wouldn't be nice anyway, barreled the baseball. That's in the 34th percentile. And his average exit velocity of 87.5 ranked in the 18th percentile of qualified hitters. That's awful. That is awful. And it's interesting to look at his expected slugging percentage of 420. It's funny that we have had some of the funny numbers in this thing and one almost funny number. Because those numbers don't really suggest to me an expected slugging percentage of 420. Does it to you? That's just a lot of weak contact. It's a lot of weak contact from, let's be honest, folks, he's your first baseman. And the Mariners can say whatever they want about how they don't value positions certain ways and all that stuff. The guy who is playing the easiest position on the field, and yes, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. Cannot be making that little of hard contact. And he especially can't be making that little of hard contact when you are swinging outside of the strike zone as often as Ty France did last year. His walk rate was 24th percentile. His walk rate was 6.5, which is in the 24th percentile. And his chase rate was 33.3% of the time. So 1/3 of the time of pitches outside of the strike zone, he swung at it. That's in the 22nd percentile. It can't happen. It can't happen. You can't. You can give me one or the other, Ty France. If you want to swing at a bunch of pitches outside the strike zone and, make your contacts, and which you can do, great. Better be a lot more hard contact. Better be a lot more hard. You can't get on at a 33% clip, which is basically rounding down in this case, but whatever. You can't get on at that on base percentage and give me that low slugging percentage in 2023. Or that's what you did in 2023. You can't do it again in 2024. Cannot happen. Or you got to start hitting some more bombs. You got to start going deep more. You can't go deep 12 times. You cannot have a well below average slugging percentage. He just frustrated the heck out of me, and I think he frustrated the heck out of a lot of you. And in large part because we saw what he could do. And then the other thing here is, and look, you can talk about it. Hey, they don't value blah, 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 blah. Ty France is just abysmal slow. I don't think that's even a word. But he is a liability on the bases. His sprint speed of 25 miles per hour, which would crush me and crush the majority of human beings, is unbelievably slow compared to other good major leaguers, or just major leaguers, period. And I don't think that sprint speed tells you just how slow Ty France is. Because watching this guy try to score on some balls last year, it was hard to watch. And I'm not asking for Ty France to steal 20 bases. I'm not asking for Ty France to all of a sudden become one of the fleet foot guys. But because of your athletic limitations, and because, folks, this is Major League Baseball. Because of your athletic limitations and because of what you do for a living, that skill set offensively has to be a lot better. Because getting on base is great. But if you have to play station to station as much as you do with Ty France, it's problematic knowing that he's not going to hit the ball over the fence very often. Now, I will point out, well, let's talk about the defense first. The other thing that concerns me is the defense is getting worse too. It's not bad. He has good hands. He makes the plays in front of him. He's not very good against the angles. Or, playing the lines is what I really mean there. There are going to be doubles that shouldn't be doubles when Ty France is on the field. Because he's just not quick enough to get to the same amount of balls that he was just a couple of years ago when he looked like he was on his way to being one of the best defensive first basemen in baseball. So it's just a really problematic skill set. Now, I will say this. The metric systems, France really likes, hey, Ty France. The projection systems, took me forever to think of that word. The projection systems think Ty France is going to bounce back. Not to 2022 first half levels, but better. They think that he is going to be one of the guys who posts pretty solid WRC numbers. WRC plus, of course, the thing that most of them matter. And there's a bunch of Mariners that the projection systems thinks will be better in 2024 than they were in 2023, and that includes Ty France. And that's good. It's not a bad thing, you know. But look, I'm an eye test guy. I think it's been made abundantly clear that I respect advanced statistics and the metrics and all of this stuff. But I am still, as a prospect guy who, you know, did what he did for a living as long as he did and still kind of does. The eye test matters to me a lot. And my eye test for Ty France in 2023 and a lot of 2022, I don't think you can completely throw. In fact, you shouldn't throw it out. Tells me that I just don't see it. I don't. I think Ty France can be a valuable player as the guy who hits eighth in a good lineup, or what would really be nice is Ty France being a guy. You talk about your platoons. Let me have Ty France play against left-handers at first base and DH. That would be ideal to me for Ty France. But based on what we're seeing so far, the Mariners are counting on Ty France to be a lot more than that. And I think it's a huge mistake. I also hope I'm wrong. I really like Ty France, the person. I think he's really funny. I think he's clearly good for the clubhouse. I think that he's one of my favorite when he has good games, interviews after the game. I am not rooting against Ty France. That should be made abundantly clear. I'm not rooting against any Seattle Mariner unless they sign one of the bad guys. Then it gets tough. But I am not rooting against any current Seattle Mariner. Not even close. But I'm not going to lie to you. Nothing I saw from him in 2023 suggests to me that he is a guy who should be a starting first baseman on a World Series contending team. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Or I hope the Mariners change their mind and go upgrade. It's not going to happen. But I can hope, can't I? I'm allowed to hope. So Ty France, are you believing in the bounce back? Do you think he has a chance to come close to those first half 2022 numbers? Or are you pessimistic? And I don't like being pessimistic, but I have real doubts about Ty France being any better than he was in 2023. And what he was in 2023, flat out, was not good enough. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a longer one. I knew it would be because there was a lot to say. But yeah. Ty France. I guess we'll see, but I cannot lie to you and say I'm optimistic.